Dr. Stephen Lewis, Assistant Scientific Director at the Atlantic Cancer Research Institute, Adjunct Professor of Chemistry and Biochemistry at the Université de Moncton, Adjunct Professor of Biology at the University of New Brunswick, and Adjunct Assistant Professor of Microbiology and Immunology in the Faculty of Medicine at Dalhousie University.
My focus is on looking at breast cancer as well as the underlying molecular mechanisms of other types of cancer. My background is in understanding how cells make proteins, and we're looking at what happens to change the production of proteins in breast cancer cells. And when we were doing that research, we actually had a very exciting result that showed that when we change how proteins are made in the cell, we actually change the properties of the cancer cell. A lot of cancer cells are in a solid tumor. When we dysregulated the production of proteins, we caused those cells to become migratory, and that would allow us to look at metastatic breast cancer. So we're actually understanding how breast cancer cells become metastatic and move to other portions of the body. Our research is uncovering some really interesting changes that occur in the breast cancer cells, and we hope to use the knowledge that we gain from looking at those changes to develop better therapeutics or diagnostics for metastatic cancer. I have a great team that I get to talk to and interact with every day. I get to go into the lab, see their results, talk to them about the experiments they're doing, help them develop the right experiments and ask the right questions so that we can better understand diseases like cancer. I've received funding from the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, both for my project as well as for myself as a new investigator. I've also had great funding from the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation Atlantic chapter, who are funding my research into metastatic breast cancer. Those have been great accomplishments, and our breast cancer project has been very successful. We recently have discovered, as I mentioned, that when we change how proteins are made, it allows the cells to become metastatic, and that research was recently published in the journal Oncogene and has been well received by the field of cancer research. It's important that we have research on the ground here in our hospitals and at our universities, and funding that research is critically important, and that we can continue to explore the research avenues that we've developed, particularly into diseases like cancer and cardiovascular disease, as well as in the social sciences in the province. I was really surprised and excited about research that was going on here in New Brunswick, and that was one of the things that attracted me to this area. And because it's a small area, I have the opportunity to collaborate with lots of other scientists very easily, not only within New Brunswick, but also my colleagues in Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland. So the Atlantic research community is a very tight-knit community, and that affords me lots of opportunities to collaborate with other researchers and push my research and their research forward much faster.